1963 Impala SS Convertible Restoration Part 6. We've got a lot of ugly to get through. Let's go. Okay, what I'm doing first is we're cutting out the entire floor pan on this car. So we need to replace the stanchion that we have already set on the frame fixture. And how I'm going to do that, there's the stanchion. How I'm going to do that is move that mount point to the outside of the frame fixture and then do a upright and support the rocker. That'll give us free access to the floor pan. And we'll get that guy welded into place. And there it is, pretty simple, effective. Now we're going to cut out the stanchion. It's just tacked into place. And that stanchion's located under the framing work underneath the floor pan. Okay, with those in place on both sides, we are going to mark out where we want our cuts to be. And this is just to get the majority of the metal out of the way. And this is called a rough cut. And we'll have to remember to remove and replace those onto the next pan. And do I even need to say anything about this? Okay. PPE always, personal protective equipment. This is really important. Okay, now these filters, they have an odor arrestor in them. That means they have they're charcoal filled. Big difference in just plain filters. And those are some of the best gloves I've ever used. Okay, here we go. And we're going to use a plasma cutter and make short work of this. And now the rough cut, the purpose of that, we're not getting close to the edges or the flanges that we're going to be reusing on the adjoining panels to mate the new panels to. And there that is. So to make life easier, we're going to cut this floor pan. Now you'll notice it's the front section and rear section. We're just going to do away with all of it, cut it in two pieces, make it much easier to remove and deal with. And we never want to throw everything away until we are absolutely sure that everything is, all the brackets are transferred. Okay, so moving on. Now you can see how we have the car supported, and you can see the gaps between the door and the rocker. I explained some of that in the last video. We have our front mount. And now we have our mid mount. That's the mount that we had fabricated in the beginning of the video. That keeps the car from sagging in the center. And we have our secondary mount supporting the upper trunk deck. And this is the rear mount, and it is adjustable. So now, contrary to popular belief, you see these guys, you know, if that's what you want to do and it works for you, that's fine. These are just a couple of supporting rods that are connected off of this little bracket. And note, it is adjustable, so I can push and pull. And it's connected to the windshield frame there. You don't have to have some big elaborate support mechanism like a 4-point, 6-point, 8-point, if you're doing it off of a frame fixture. Now, if you're doing this on the floor on jack stands, well, yeah, maybe then. But if I had a big elaborate a bunch of pipes in here so the body wouldn't twist, this and that, it's going to make it really difficult to put the floor pan in. And you can see without the floor pan, we're still retaining all of our lines that we had before the floor pan was cut out. So that tells me, hey, we're good to go. The body's not sagging. There aren't any issues. And two, there's really not a lot, because we're cutting everything out, to attach a bunch of support braces to. And you can see how wide area, open area that I have to work with. And you can still see the gap in the alignment that I have on the driver's side. So we're good to go. Okay, we're going to be using an air hammer to separate the outer rocker from the inner rocker. Yeah, the inner rockers are trashed. They have rust damage. Plus, if you watch the previous videos of the media blast and see the amount of bad work that's been done to this car, there's more bad work that's been done than rust damage. So we're going to be getting all of that out of the way so we can get this car back to where it's supposed to be. And hey, just as a side note, if you're paying somebody to do work for you, pay somebody to do good work. Let me just leave it at that. Okay, now this is the front of the firewall. This is where the front of the floor pan meets the firewall. So we're going to be addressing this. Yeah, that's pop rivets we're knocking off. Somebody is just kind of laid stuff over that. This is the good side. Okay. Around most of the car, around the pan and other areas, they have brassed that all in. And I mean, used 5 times more brass than they should have ever on top of that. So we're going to get all of this ugly off of here. And there's a couple ways to disassemble vehicles. Now, vehicles are held together, all the panels, with resistance welds. You can use a spot cutter and cut those out. You can drill out the resistance welds, my preferred method. Now, you have to use a little care and you have to really pay attention. But if you use an air hammer with this type of bit, man, you can really accelerate the amount of time spent on disassembly, and you don't have to deal with holes that you've drilled to remove the resistance welds from the factory, and that can be huge. So we can put our own holes in, or that gives us the option to plug weld through holes we've drilled that we want to drill, or we can use a resistance welder and mimic the factory way to attach panels. Yeah, it's just a lot of ugly on this car, man. And I really don't like when people say, well, I can repair this any way I want to because it's my car. It's like, well, if you're going to keep the car forever, well, okay. But if you're going to sell it, hey, show somebody what you've done to it and then see if they want to buy it. So, yeah, don't do bad work. And don't pay for bad work. Okay. Here we've got that last little bit removed. All right, let me show you some of what I'm talking about. All of that is brass. Yeah, there's enough brass on this car to start a brass factory. And it really makes it difficult when people do bad repairs, because we have all of this that's on the adjoining mating surface, and now we have to figure out how we're going to separate this, because if we destroy the mating surface, well, now we have to replace the entire rocker, which is not necessary. So we're going to do a little exploratory here to try to figure out how to approach this. And on this panel, not so lucky on all the other panels, but on this panel, I think we're going to be okay because they didn't bring the brass over the seam. So there's still the resistance weld, but they didn't bring the brass over the seam. Now they have in other places, but I'm still able to get my air hammer chisel bit in there and separate this without too much problems, without too many issues. So we'll still end up with a good usable mating surface. And try to get you a shot in there so you can kind of see up close what's going on. Now you can see I'm just basically breaking those resistance welds. And yeah, that's all the brass. It's covered up with the black, but okay, moving on. We're going to have to remove the center divider since this is a convertible. Now we don't want to damage this piece. So what we're going to do here is we'll go ahead and drill out the resistance welds. And we used a little mini orbital DA so that we could knock off the epoxy primer, and then that's going to reveal exactly where the resistance welds are. If you're drilling out resistance welds, you want to know exactly where they are. Otherwise, you got to drill 2 or 3 places for one resistance weld, and you end up with a big mess. So we want to be accurate. And now we're going to gently separate that panel from the inner wheel well. And if we've hit our resistance weld and drilled it out correctly, this really shouldn't be a big deal. And we really shouldn't have a bunch of distortion or anything like that between either panel. And there it is. No damage to that panel. Now I've already removed both sides and I'm working on this back. Now the upper trunk deck's going to be replaced anyway, so I'm not as concerned with that. And now that'll take minimum cleanups to reinstall. So what I'm doing here is I'm just getting myself a little bit of wiggle room. Now there's a brace support directly behind where I'm cutting. Where I'm cutting this area out, there's really nothing there. So now I've created room for myself to work in. Now convertibles have these extra mounts here, so they're going to have to be removed. And I've cut the welds. This doesn't have a resistance weld. This little area here is support. It has welds on the top. I've cut those. And we'll let the air hammer do the rest. Yeah, the air hammer makes life so much easier. Yeah, the deeper I go into this car, the worse it is, man. Yeah, this ranks up there probably a close one or number 2 to worst I've had to deal with. And there that support is. You want to make sure those don't get lost or thrown away. Okay, now this is the rocker, and what we're going to be doing, we can drill through this or we could punch holes in the flange, but since there's already a little bit of damage here, I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to approach this a little bit differently. What I'm going to do, now this is the mating surface, this is going to mate to our floor pan, so I'm just going to score it with this wide dressing wheel, and then I can weld through that little U shape right there. It'll turn out really nicely. Yeah, because trying to drill holes through that or punch holes, that's not going to be the way to go. Now, this is the front of the firewall. It is the place you want to use a punch, and we're just using a little Spitzenagel hand punch, and we're going to plug weld through these punched holes and join and fix the floor pan in the front. And we've already prepped our rocker. And there it is. That's what I have. Hey, stay tuned for part 7. As always, thanks for watching and supporting the channel. Leave a like and a comment.